1983, I got my driver's license. And the first trip that my parents allowed me to make out of town with my driver's license by myself, I went to Sears Point, went to the AFM. And I stood in the paddock, and it was it was dirt and gravel, and there was a trailer that had the side of it cut out with a chainsaw, and that's what they sold burgers out of. And I stood in the middle of that paddock and surrounded by Seicas and TZ250s and just went, oh my God. And it was like, don't get in the way of anybody. These guys are serious. Don't bother anybody. And I walked around, I was just in awe.
Growing up, nobody in my family had any interest in motorcycles. Not my dad, not my brothers, not my uncles. I had zero motorcycle influence. But every once in a while, there was this guy who would come visit on a big twin-cylinder Harley Davidson. Although I have no recollection of this, legend has it that my reaction to the sound of that motorcycle coming down the street was so intense that it scared my mother. It scared my mother so much that she asked the guy, please, never come to this house on that motorcycle again. I was 2. It's in your blood.
Take the subset of the population that is willing to get on a motorcycle. So it's about 1% of the population, right? They're willing to take risks and so on. Now take that subset and go, how many of those people want to go fast? So you're narrowing it down, right? Now take that subset and take them to a racing environment, right? A fast environment where they have fewer rules. Now take the ones that want to be the fastest of that bunch. And that's who I deal with.
You find only the people that are dedicated to doing what they love here consistently. I mean, you get the occasional weekend rider and stuff that comes out, but the people that motivate you the most are the people that are dedicated the most. And those are the guys you find here racing at the track and doing it on a regular basis as opposed to just once in a while.
Racing is way more complex than what it looks like from the outside looking in. When I first started, I thought it was going to be really a simple thing, a simple-minded thing that, all you got to do is go faster through the turns and you're going to get better, right? That's all it takes. But it really isn't. It's very complex. And the more I learn about it, the more complex it gets. And that really challenges me. So I couldn't put my finger on one thing. Well, what's the one thing that's hard about this? It's kind of like, as soon as I conquer one thing, there's 10 more things I have to conquer. And that really keeps you on your toes. But it's one of the fun things about racing.
The truth is, there's no place like the racetrack. On the planet. In everyday life, you have a problem, you address it, you fix it, done. You move on. In racing, there's one challenge that they all face. There's one goal that they all have. And there's 1,000 problems between them and that 1/10 of a second. First it's the forks. Got to get the forks done. I need more compression. Then it's the shock. There's too much sag. I got to get the valving right. The spring is off. They get the shock right. There's not enough air in the tires. They get the forks right. There's too much air in the tires. You know what drives me crazy? It's the f***ing clicks. The clicks. I want to kill somebody. Because you know why? Because when you come in and you're so stoked, holy shit, everything felt amazing. I'm gonna take a click out. What? I have nightmares about the clicks.
Racing's one of the most challenging sports I've come across because there are so many variables that it's everything from how well you're thinking that day to how prepared the bike is, to track temperatures, to gearing, suspension setup, strength of the motor, your physical fitness level. There are so many variables involved, and that's just a few, that I think it takes such the right combination of things to come together to do well out there. And that's the real challenge, is handling and juggling all these different factors and then going out there and pressing the limits of traction and durability. Whereas a lot of sports are based off of sheer strength and reaction time, things of that nature. You've just got a whole nother set of variables that are crazy in some regards. I mean, just the fact that you've got a 160 horsepower machine underneath you and you're inches off the ground. It's a pretty thrilling experience, but also on and off the track, there's a lot of work that goes into it. And you spend hours and hours prepping a motorcycle in order to go out and race for 20 minutes. But in the end, it's all worth it. When you're riding and you're out there and nothing else matters, that's really what racing's kind of about to me.
My first race out here on the R1, I was up against Valentine Welsh, and she's fast, right? But she's on a 600. And I'm just getting used to this bike, and I'm feeling like I'm going okay, right? And it's out in the AFM race, and I get a good start, and I'm out there, and I get into traffic, and as soon as I hit traffic, my mind's just blown, and along comes Valentine, just whizzes by me, and I'm like, my heart just broke because she's on a 600 and I'm supposed to be faster, but I don't have the bike set up yet, right? I don't have it figured out yet, and it was just everything that I had just to follow her, and it was so frustrating to me because I know where I should be, but I'm not there yet, and I've got to put in the work to get there, and it is so hard when you're at that spot where you know that you should be here and you're only right here.
I remember when I had my 0708 R1 and I couldn't figure it out at the beginning. We're in the garages, Berto's there, I'm talking to everyone, I'm like, I just can't figure this thing out, I'm having this trouble. And Rob Mesa walks over and says, you know what you need to do? I said, what? He said, you need to go put on a set of old leathers and an old set of bodywork, and you just need to go figure it out. And I've never, ever forgot that. Because it's true. You have to be willing to try it, and if it doesn't work out, you have to be willing to accept the fact that that didn't work out, and I'll go fix my stuff and I'll go try something else. So you have to be willing to roll the dice.
Well, I had a big crash last year during practice, and it was unfortunate because I was going faster than I ever have. And there's something about hitting the ground going 130 miles an hour and then cartwheeling through the dirt that tends to make you rethink your life.
You can learn more from a crash than from an entire track day if you apply it correctly, if you hold yourself accountable and you choose to make it into a tool to make you better and make you faster.
The thing is, once you do it and you go, that's it? That was so easy. Why was I so afraid of that? And you'll find yourself making time, and you just have to put aside all your inhibitions and all your things that inhibit you from doing that to actually do it. And once you do it and make it through safely, you'll be like, why didn't I do this a year ago?
That really screwed with my mind a little bit, but it's starting to come back, and I'm starting to feel more confident, and I'll get it back. That's part of the thing about racing, is that you challenge yourself more than you're out there challenging the other people that you're racing with. It's really a challenge for yourself.
I can't do what these guys do. I wanted to, but there's just no way. I don't have what it takes. So I shine behind the wall, and I love it. I wouldn't give it. I can't give it up. It's too much fun.
I tell you, the camaraderie between the guys as they come in and they're like, yeah, baby, that's the way it works. Perfect, thanks. It doesn't get any better. It really just doesn't. Right?
Front end's great. After you straightened it, I got first place.
Ta-da!
Dude, I'm so happy, man.
Thank you. Right on.
What was the question again? Why do I do this shit? Because I'm stupid. That's why. Because I'm driven by motorcycles, and I don't care whether it costs me this or costs me that. I just want to be there for it. Simple as that. I want to be there for it, for the passion of motorcycling. 2 wheels and crashes and wheelies and close passes and, all the skittering noises that I hear as bikes slide across asphalt. It enthralls me. the sound of a rear tire as as Sebastio comes backing it in completely sideways into turn 7 at Infineon. That's what it is.
Why I race, that's, it's funny. I've thought about giving it up a bunch of times, especially after crashes or my friends crash, and my daughter's worried about me. And people worry about you when you're out there, but my wife tells me it's the only place I really have a big smile on my face. So, that's what makes me happy.
I want to talk about the clicks, because whatever the fucking clicks are that he's doing, I want to get a hammer and I want to hit him over the head with it.